morning, students. Welcome to another class on Varnabi English. I'll be taking up a prose piece, Strong Roots by APG Abdul Kalam today. I've taken a quote from the original book, Wings of Fire, which says, "Be active, take on responsibility, work for the things you believe in. If you do not, you are surrendering your fate to others." I hope this quote inspires you to work harder during these difficult times. APG Abdul Kalam, full name Abul Pakir Jainulabdin Abdul Kalam, is regarded as the pioneer of aerospace engineering in India, worked as a scientist for almost his entire life. A popular president, was the 11th President of India from 2000 to 2007. Strong Roots is an extract from his autobiography, which he co-authored with Arun Tiwari, a famous scientist. He talks about his childhood in his hometown and presents a delightful sketch on his early life and spiritual growth. The general idea you should remember while tackling all the prose pieces is to write down the small details in the story. You can do this while reading the text thoroughly. This will help while dealing with multiple choice questions and short answer questions. I'll be presenting this prose piece in a different way. The Strong Roots is a narrative where Dr. Kalam recollects the secure days of his childhood. Born in middle-class Tamil family in the island town of Rameswaram, former Madras state, father's name Jainulabdin and mother's name S.U.M.I. A rare family photograph of Dr. Kalam's family. I have taken a different approach, highlighting key words and phrases which will help you understand this prose piece better. I suggest you all to follow my explanation carefully. You can use the points in your answers also. Keywords and phrases used in the text from page number 47. Great innate wisdom. The meaning of innate is a quality you were born with, not learned. Abdul Kalam's father, Jainulabdin, possessed great innate wisdom. He neither had much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom. This quality, which the author mentions, must have greatly inspired him. True generosity of spirit. A quality, again, Jainulabdin possessed in his behavior, his dealings with people, irrespective of their religion and castes. Ideal helpmate. Mother S.U.M.I. was the ideal helpmate, a lady who had perfected the art of motherhood and complemented the qualities of her husband, Jainulabdin. The author fondly remembers that his parents were regarded as an ideal couple. Undistinguished looks. The author describes his own features as rather undistinguished, a normal boy without any special feature. After this, you'll have to keep in mind the details of his house when it was built and the location. Built in the middle of the 19th century, the location is Mosque Street in Rameswaram. Next keyword is austere. The word austere completely justifies the next idea presented here. Kalam's childhood was very simple. His father maintained the things that were absolutely necessary, avoiding all inessential comforts and luxuries. Kalam also confirms that his childhood was very secure materially and emotionally. Next detail you'll have to remember here is how his mother would serve him food and the items mentioned. Keywords and phrases from page number 48. The page begins with the location of the Shiva temple in Rameswaram, which made Rameswaram a famous pilgrim destination. Living amicably. Kalam's neighborhood was predominantly Muslim, but a lot of Hindu families too resided there. They lived peacefully there. The next detail which follows is that of his father, who would take the author to an old mosque for evening prayers. The author makes a wonderful remark here, saying he did not have any idea about the meaning of the Arabic prayers chanted, but was convinced that it reached God. His father was the man everybody would be waiting outside the mosque after the prayers. People outside waited with bowls of water. His father would dip his fingertips and say a prayer. The water was then carried home for invalids. Kalam remembers people visiting after being cured to offer thanks to his father. Another important detail here is the high priest of Rameswaram temple, Pakchi Lakshmana Sastri, a very close friend of his father. He recollects memories of his early childhood when both the men, dressed in traditional attire, discussing spiritual matters. Relevance of prayer. When Kalam was old enough, he asked his father the relevance of prayer. Relevance means importance of prayer. His father told him there was nothing mysterious about prayers. Prayer only made possible a communion, a link. Communion means a link or a relationship of spirit between people. He further added that when a person prayed, he transcended his body and became part of the cosmos. He became part of the cosmos without any division of wealth, age, caste, or creed. Complex spiritual concepts. Jainul-Abidin explained it in very down-to-earth, simple Tamil. Kalam's father, Jainul-Abidin, once told him that every human being is a specific part with the whole manifest divine being, which means every human being. So we should not be afraid of our sufferings. Relevance of your sufferings. The importance of our suffering, the reason of our suffering. God has a plan for all of us. So instead of worrying, we should understand what led us into this situation. Sufferings help people understand their true value, the true meaning. Adversity, difficult situation. Difficult situation always presents us an opportunity to look into our own faults. Introspection, meaning examining our own ideas, thoughts and feelings. I'll repeat it again. Introspection means examining our own ideas, thoughts and feelings. You'll find the meanings at the bottom end of your textbooks also. Difficult situation gives us time to think and realize our own mistakes. Kalam, throughout his life, followed his father's word in his world of science and technology. He always tried to understand the fundamental truths revealed to him by his father. Keywords and phrases from page number 49. Impasse. Impasse means a situation which allows no progress because the people involved cannot agree. People came to Abdin, Kalam's father, when they were in trouble and confused. He helped them during this difficult times. Effort to propitiate. Propitiate means to please or make calm. People who were having difficult times came to him for help, and Zainul Abidin explained Kalam that he was a go-between, communicator, a person who helped, a person to take messages to please the demonic forces with prayers and offerings. He said this was not a proper approach to be taken and should never be followed. He said to understand the difference between a fear-ridden vision of destiny and a clear vision which enabled us to seek the enemy of fulfillment within ourselves. Kalam recollects his father following a strict routine, starting his day at 4 a.m. by reading the namaz before dawn, walking down to the coconut grove 4 miles from their home, and returning with a dozen coconuts tied together thrown over his shoulder. He followed the same routine till his late 60s. Tried to emulate. Emulate means to copy. Kalam remembers his parents with due humility, and during his tenure working as a scientist, he always tried to follow in his father's belief, his father's philosophy. Before I conclude for today, I'll point out the highlights from the story. A narrative where Dr. Kalam recollects his childhood and humble upbringing, his mother's benevolent acts and father's wise and spiritual deliberations shaped him as a person. His locality in Rameswaram depicted a perfect picture of communal harmony with Hindus and Muslims living at peace. A beautiful insight into the lives of Hindus and Muslims of India and their relationship among each other. His father and the high priest of Rameswaram temple Pakshi Lakshmana Sastri were close friends. His father's view of how to face adversity enabled him to believe in the omnipresence of divine power. He was guided by the regular disciplined activities of his father all through his career. The remaining notes, both short, long, MCQ, SCQ, will be forwarded in your class WhatsApp groups. Thank you.